Hey, what's up? So, I know it's been a while, so let's talk. It's late night, and I kind of want to update you all on some things that I've been experiencing. So, a little while ago, I started a series called Dating for the Effeminate Black Gay Male, and it has a few chapters, of course. So, of course, if you've been following me, you know that in that series, I tackle the difficulties that I've experienced and that I've seen that effeminate gay men experience when attempting to date in the black gay community. Of course, I have said that I feel like black gay love can be very exclusionary when it comes to the feminine black gay male because when they speak of black gay love, it's typically the mask for mask love. And let me just say that I don't think that the mask girls specifically set it out for it to be exclusionary. I just think that the effeminate black gay male just kind of gets overlooked. So, update about me. Of course, if you haven't been following me, if you are, I'll just give you a refresher. When I first entered the black gay community, I was more of a mask presenting black gay man. So with me being mask presenting, I feel like I was able to experience the black gay community in its totality. So at that time, I had a lot more gay men that were interested in me. I had a lot more gay men that wanted to hang out with me, wanted to take me on dates, were interested in really being with me. As I got older and I kind of became into myself and became more comfortable as most black gay, well, I can only speak for myself, as I did, I started to loosen up and try things that I didn't think I would be interested in. So I became more effeminate. My hair got longer. I started to experience the nails. I started to dress a bit differently. And as I started to do those things, I experienced a shift within the guys that were interested in me. So at that time, the more effeminate I became, I had less and less interest from black gay men and more interest from more of a, now I can say a bisexual or pansexual. It was a lot of discreet, a lot of down low men. So as you can imagine, with me first being mask presenting and more of a masculine man when I first came out, this was quite a challenge for me because I couldn't understand why these group of guys were not interested in dating, why these group of guys were not interested in hanging out, why these group of guys were strictly sex, straight friends with benefits. And I can honestly say, as a more effeminate presenting black gay male, 97% of the men I've met in this stage of my life have literally all been the same. They have not been interested in dating. So that gets me to what I want to talk about tonight. False expectations. And I know we have a lot more to discuss, and I promise I'm coming back. We're getting to it, but tonight let's talk about false expectations. So, some months ago, I recently got reacquainted with someone from my past. Now, I'll be fully transparent as I always have been. Me and this person have always just kind of been a friends with benefits. I wouldn't even say that because, I hate that term. We were just more of a casual hookup. We would hook up every now and then. And, of course, this was years ago. That's where I was in my life. We never really got to know each other. I never knew much about this person past us hooking up. And I was okay with that, and so were they. So, mind you, we hadn't spoken in years. So, me and this person recently got reconnected, as I mentioned. And upon reconnecting, their interest had shifted. Well, let's say this. They made it appear as if their interest had shifted and they wanted to get to know me more. So we're catching up, getting all the nice things out the way, all the flatteries, all the catching up. How have you been? What are you doing? What have you been up to? Oh, how I've missed you, blah, blah, blah. Girl, you know how that goes. So we're talking, and of course you guys know I live in Florida now. So this person's telling me, oh wow, I didn't know you lived so-and-so place. I've been coming and visiting there because I have a family member that lives there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So how often do you come visit? And they're like, well, I usually come once a month. Okay, cool. So when are you coming back? This is how the conversation is going. So they're telling me, well, will be back in about 3 weeks. I just left a week ago. I was there last weekend. So now I'm wondering, were you on my social media and figured out that I lived there and you decided to hit me up? Maybe you saw me on the gay app when you were here. I do go off and on, but whatever. So this person says to me, because I'm like, okay, hey, when you get there, hopefully we can link up. as I mentioned, we've always been a hookup, so I had no expectations of us being anything past that. But this person mentioned to me, yeah, I would love to catch up with you when I get there. I would love for us to go grab a bite to eat and take you out and catch up. So immediately I'm like, this is interesting because we never really expressed this particular type of interest in one another past hooking up. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always thought this person has been attractive, very intelligent, very well-rounded, has a great job, is in great shape, works out. But I'll just be honest, I don't really know much about their personality outside of sex. But at this particular stage in my life, I wasn't really expecting anything. So I wanted to be in the moment and remove all judgment and say, I will allow this person to get to know me on that level. Like, I'm not opposed to it, So, I said, yes, of course, I'm open to that. That would be great. You just let me know, da-da-da-da. So he's like, okay, once I confirm the dates, I'll reach back out to you and we can kind of set something up. Boom. Now, one thing about me, regardless of the situation, I'm going to let a man do a man. So are you a man of your word or are you not? Because I've already made it known that I'm not someone that you have to sell a dream to, especially when we've already hooked up before. Because as I mentioned, my expectation was just that I would invite you over at some point. So I said, okay, cool, this is interesting. So this took an interesting turn. So still not getting myself too excited, but then I am kind of excited because I'm like, because this person's like, okay, yeah, I've been thinking about you for quite some time, and I just remember how great our connection was, and da-da-da-da. And I kept saying in my mind, you're selling me a story. I wanted to remove all judgment and expectations, so I did. Well, I guess I didn't in a way. I was 50-50. So anyways, the date gets closer, but I noticed within the weeks that the conversation wasn't really progressing and didn't have much substance. I feel like we were still kind of stuck in the same place. And I'm just like, if you're genuinely interested in getting to know me past this level, why are we still stuck at this? Why are we still stuck at these pleasantries and these sexual innuendos? Like, we grown, so I feel like we're old enough to know, like, if you want to get to know somebody, ask probing questions. Show interest in me past sex. Because I've been through this before. And I feel like at a certain point, I started leading the conversation again. And I said I wasn't going to put myself in that situation again. So at that point, I just decided to pull back. And I said, okay, well, when you get here, we'll see what's up. Boom. The weekend comes, they get there. Guess when they hit me up? Saturday night. And what did I do? I went with the flow because just like I said, I'm going to let a man be a man and you will show me your true intentions. And as I expected, you did not have any intentions on taking me out. So that brings me to the topic of the video. Why the false expectations? But before I get to that, so, of course, I invited the person over Saturday night. We hooked up. We had a great time. Boom. The person leaves to go back the next day. So then later on that week, they're messaging me and we're talking and they're talking about, I can't wait to hang out again when you get back. When I get back in town. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Of course we'll hang out again. So then they start mentioning to me, and next time I would love to like cuddle and watch some movies and get cozy. So at that point, Miss Thing had to put her foot down, baby. I said, absolutely not. And I made it very clear. I said, I just want to be quite honest with you. I said, I have no interest in doing those things with a hookup. I said, to me, I prefer to keep things separately. If we're going to be a hookup, I think we should just be that. I said, the only thing that could come from that is feelings. And I just prefer to keep feelings separate from a hookup. So at this point, I feel like he was shocked, but he kind of went along with what I was saying. He was like, oh yeah, I definitely understand and I agree with you because I feel the same way. Like I wouldn't want to do those things with someone that I didn't care about. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, but you literally just asked me to do those things. So if I had said yes and acquiesced, then that's where you would have placed me. So now I absolutely know that you were looking to butter me up so you can kind of put me in this position where I give you all this relationship treatment and you don't have to hold up to your end of the bargain. Absolutely not. But now that I'm telling you, no, I'm not with that, we're somehow on the same page. This is the thing. This is why I just keep saying, like, I just feel like to be in a relationship, even if you were to meet one, like, it's a certain level of oblivious, like, you have to be, because it's like they want you to become stupid sometimes. Like, excuse you? Like, you don't get to play with me like that. Like, I gave you the opportunity to lead, and this thing could have went whatever way you wanted it to go. But you may not use me as a placeholder. But they don't like to be treated the same way they treat you. Yeah, if we're just going to be a hookup, that's what it's going to be. But I can't lie. It did trigger me, and it put me in my feelings a little bit. Because no matter how confident you are, and how amazing you think you are, and these great qualities you think you are, it always sparks that question. Why am I always going through this? Am I not good enough? Does it get better with time? Do the quality of guys get better? At this moment, I really don't have the answer. But all I can say is sometimes I think that I deprive myself out of certain experiences because I know too much. But I rather know too much than to be oblivious and be hurt by little things like that, you know? So does it get better? That's for the feminine black male. That's the question of the night. At this moment, I don't know. It's still pretty much going the same. But hey, I'm gonna figure it out, I guess. How have you all been? How have your dating experiences been? Have there been any luck for you? Have you recently noticed any changes? Please comment, let me know. I absolutely have missed you all, and we're getting back to the couple. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I know. Bye.